is the switchiest thing he'll ever do. He's Nintendo Switch Gamer Dude. He's Nintendo Switch Gamer Dude. He's Nintendo Switch Gamer Dude. Hello people, Nintendo Switch Gamer Dude here, bringing you another episode of Remastered or Remake. Today's episode, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Siri, if you please.
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is the 10th main installment of the Legend of Zelda series. It is the first Zelda game for the Nintendo GameCube, and was released in Japan on December 13, 2002, in Canada and the United States on March 24, 2003, in South Korea on April 16, 2003, in Europe on May 2, 2003 and in Australia on May 7, 2003. It is notable for being the first game in the series to employ cel shading, a lighting and texturing technique that results in the game having a cartoon-like appearance. It also differentiates itself from other Zelda series with its massive overworld, the Great Sea, which must be explored using a boat, the King of Red Lions. It is an indirect sequel to Ocarina of Time, taking place several hundred years after the events of the previous games. Although the seafaring gameplay and cartoon-like graphics were a point of critique for some, it was, in the end, the fourth best-selling game of all time. However, it should be noted that pre-orders of the game were significantly boosted by the inclusion of a pre-order bonus disc, which features Ocarina of Time and Master Quest. Master Quest is an altered port of the original Ocarina of Time, with partially redesigned, more difficult dungeons. During a Nintendo Direct on January 23, 2013, an enhanced remaster of the game was announced for the Wii U console, called The Wind Waker HD, and was released during the fall of that year.
I played the original when I was young. It was fun and challenging. It took me a long time to beat it, but that was because I did my own thing when it came to the sea travel. I never played the HD remake, and yes, it is a remake, but I'm going to point out that the star system was started with 1, and 2 stars mean that 1 or 2 things are added or it is an improvement. 3 stars are added to both or 3 the things added. 4 stars to improve it and 6 to 10 things added. 5 stars is over 10 things and improvement. So yeah, it's how good of a remake it is. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. The Triforce Shard quest has been shortened. 5 of the 8 shards are now found directly without having to go through the process of decrypting a Triforce shard. Certain items usage cutscenes, such as cutscenes that play using the grappling hook to swing the salvage, have been shortened. That's 2 things and an improvement. 2 more stars added. Some boxes, such as the Picto Box, have new and improved functions. The Picto Box can now store 22 photographs as opposed to 3. Link is now able to take self-portraits of making any 9 facial expressions. Upon activating the Nintendo Gallery side quest, a mark appears on the upper left corner of pictographs that are eligible for figurine making. In addition, Karlov can now sculpt up to 12 figurines per day, as opposed to only 1. The gallery can thus be completed more rapidly and efficiently. All pictographs can be sent to other players in the Tingle Bottle. The receiving players can add the pictograph to the picto boxes and use them to complete their Nintendo Gallery. Additionally, he no longer needs a Forest Firefly for the deluxe picto box. Another thing added, sailing has also been improved with an upgrade of the sail, called the Swift Sail. The Swift Sail enables the King of Red Lions to sail faster by pressing the A button. In addition, it automatically changes the direction of the wind to the boat's heading. This replaces the function of the A button in the original game, which was used to stop the boat from sailing. Change functions came about as a result to technical limitations in the original. In the GameCube version, is loaded by a single chunk of ocean that lay travel, requiring the slower sailing speed to match loading times. Citation needed, while the Wii U does load the entire Great Sea at once. This does, however, result in occasional frame rate issues, particularly during rainfall. Another thing added. Tingle Bottle allows players to send messages through Miiverse. The Tingle Bottle, which allows players to randomly send messages to other players, replaced the Tingle Tuner in the original game. The Tingle Bottle is used to send messages in bottles, which will subsequently appear in the shores of other players' islands. Tingle stretches previously only accessible via the Tingle Tutor's Tingle Bombs can now be obtained with regular bombs. Knuckle How appears on Tingle Island after all 5 stretches have been found. Another thing added, Link's actions can be altered slightly. He is now capable of changing direction while swinging on the rope, without having to stop first. He can also move on person view while aiming the grappling hook, boomerang, hero's bow, and hookshot. However, the shield button is no longer the grab button for draggable objects. Instead, both the grab and climb commands are as part of the primary action button, making block controls act like older games. That makes it 4 stars. The game includes a higher difficulty hero mode, but unlike other incarnations, it has no unlocking requirements. It can be toggled on and off when starting a new game, or when a save game is resumed. Recovery hearts do not appear in hero mode, forcing Link to use potions to regain health. In addition, enemies deal double the amount of damage as in normal gameplay. Another thing added, the game supports gamepad-only play, allowing for play without a television, as well as control with the Wii U Pro Controller. For those who prefer a traditional control scheme, during use of the Pro Controller, the gamepad can still be used as a map. Another thing added, other altered gameplay elements include the starting wallet holds 500 rupees instead of 20. As a result, obtaining a wallet upgrade is no longer mandatory to pay Tingle's fees and thus complete the game. Another thing added, there are 5 additional treasure charts that replace the removed Triforce charts. Another thing added, the hero's charm is no longer attained through Mrs. Mary. It is found at the bottom of the sandwich labyrinth. That's another 5 stars. Okay, if I continue this thing further, I'm gonna be here all day. Siri, name the rest.
The piece of heart that was there in the original game was moved to an underwater chest, found via the new treasure chart number 46. Link does not get knocked out of the King of Red Lions when he takes damage at sea, aside from some exceptions, such as explosive barrels. Enemies have less invincibility after being damaged, making it possible for certain sword swings to hit twice. Conducting with the Wind Waker does not begin until a direction is input. After being learned the first time, the pre-animated version of Wind Waker melodies is only cued the first time the song is played since loading the game. While gliding, Deku Leaf shows a Tingle Tuner-like glowing symbol below Link's feet where he will land. While using the cannon, the projectile's trajectory is displayed on the screen, thereby making aiming the cannon much easier. Once obtained the first time, a fishman's advice can be read from the sea chart. The fishermen no longer change their location after feeding them bait. Pots which previously contained 3 of an item now only contain 2. Items dropped by enemies defeated at sea are automatically drawn towards Link. Forest water lasts for 30 minutes instead of 20. The figurine of Knuckle is required to complete the Nintendo Gallery. When a big Octo's eye is destroyed, it glows blue instead of turning black. Lenzo's legendary pictographs cost 150 rupees instead of 50. The chest that treasure chart 18 leads to contains 50 rupees instead of 1. The forest firefly is no longer needed to get the deluxe picto box from Lenzo. He gives Link a joy pendant for bringing him one. Jump attacking on top of the chest in the ghost ship no longer freezes the game. There is now a northwest wind in Hyrule, as opposed to no wind. The boomerang no longer hits Kale Demos through the bulb when it comes back to Link. Moljira's tongue no longer extends and his tongue cannot be latched onto while he is flying towards Link. The Octorok figurine no longer states that Octoroks are the winners of the Perfect Attendance Award, since they were absent from Twilight Princess. The Goddess Pearl symbols now are always visible regardless of which direction they are facing. Medley and Makar will follow Link through doors in the Earth and Wind temples, instead of having to be carried through them. A circle of light no longer appears around Link when he enters a dark area. All-purpose bait now costs 30 rupees when purchased from Beetle, as opposed to 10 rupees. Seagulls can no longer fly through the small tree saplings that are found throughout many different islands. After clearing the Forbidden Woods, the Octoroks near the entrance to the Forest Haven will disappear. Certain character animations that were repeated in the original game are now only used once. Because the Wind Waker HD was developed for control with the Wii U gamepad, additional control methods have been added. The inventory has been made accessible through the gamepad's touchscreen, with no need to pause the game. It is now possible to slide an item icon on the gamepad to one of the 3 slot icons at the top of the screen, allowing players to switch items quickly. The older style of item selection by pausing and using the D-pad and buttons must be used when playing the game with the Wii U Pro controller, and may also still be used with the Wii U gamepad. Some items, such as the Wind Waker, are permanently mapped to certain buttons as opposed to being equipped to the 3 item slots. This allows players to quickly and conveniently access these items, as they are key to playing the game. First-person aiming of items is achieved through either the right analog stick or the gamepad's gyroscope, though there is an option to disable the gyroscope. Link can also move in first-person mode, though item usage is limited to ranged weapons such as the hero's bow.
Overall, this game's a masterpiece of a remake, and I totally recommend it. The game does better not only in graphics but in gameplay, making the game easier for the most part. It changes certain parts of the game to make it different enough to not seem too much like a copy-paste game. It gets rid of the aggravating parts to make it feel soothing, and you could choose a hard mode to make it challenging. It's just too bad the Wii U was discontinued. Like, comment, share the video, subscribe, and click on the bell to get notified for more of my work. Follow me on my Twitters, Reddit, Instagram, Discord, and Twitch for even more. Now with that out of the way, signing off.